Chapter 30. I tell them I'll be fine, even if you're no longer mine. Losing you has turned me into a liar, so I burn you in my broken heart's hellfire. Jenny didn't know what time or even what day it was. All she knew was that it was an eternity since Peter had disappeared. An eternity since he had called her his little fairy. An eternity since he had danced with her, laughed with her, and made love to her. All she had done since he had disappeared was wait. Wait for the waiting to end. Wait for him to step into her life again and make her laugh, make her live a limitless life. She had waited forever for him to come back. He will not be back, Keivan had said. He will not be back. She suddenly got up and pushed her hair out of her face. Without thinking, she frantically began to clean up her room. All that was reminiscent of Peter was thrown in a plastic bag. She worked quickly and efficiently. Everything that reminded her of him had to go. Photos, lots of them, photos Peter had worked on for a long time, went into the bag, as well as scraps of paper where he had written recipes of food she liked. The portrait he had painted of her in Stockholm went down into a second plastic bag when the first one got full. After 15 minutes of intense work, she looked around. He was gone. The room was the way it had been, before Peter. Life before and after Peter. That can be the title of my autobiography, she sarcastically said to herself as she looked around her Peter-free room. She glanced at the wardrobe. Should she? No, she had paid for it, in a way. But he had bought it. He had stood there, leaning against the doorframe of the fitting room, smiling at her. The dress was a Peter memory. It had to go. Equipped with the 2 plastic bags, the blue-green graduation dress, lighter fluid and matches, she walked out. Jenny's mother, Johanna, had trouble sleeping. Not only was work more than usually stressful, but she was also worried about Jenny. Seeing her daughter transform from a happy and lively girl into an apathetic mess was depressing and frustrating. Johanna turned around again, moved the pillow for the 3rd time, but nothing helped. She sighed. As she couldn't sleep, she could just as well get up and work. Carefully, so as not to wake Ingvar, she swung her legs over the edge of the bed. When she saw the flames, she shot out of the bed and rushed out into the garden. What in the world are you doing? Slowly, Jenny turned her eyes from the flames to her mother. I'm burning him. Standing next to the fire, Johanna saw that it was not as huge as it had looked from her bedroom window. It was just a pile of rubbish that slowly burned to ashes. Next to her, Jenny had a bucket of water. Oh, that's a good sign, Johanna thought, even though Jenny wore only pajamas and clogs in the chilly October night. The only thing Johanna could identify in the burning pile was a photo that had just caught fire. The photo of Peter rolled up in the heat. Johanna saw his eyes being devoured by the flames. She looked at her daughter again, in her old PJs with her long, messy hair in knots. With her shoe, Johanna pushed in a piece of paper that had fallen out of the fire. Be careful that your hair doesn't catch fire. Jenny grabbed her hair between her fingers and looked at it. She heard his voice. My little fairy. Mom, can I get your hairdresser's number?